All right, viewers across the world. How are we doing this evening? First episode of 2021. Happy to get it to you guys, the Swaggy Sports Podcast. We've got some great guests with me, as you guys have seen before, Mr. Noah, Mr. DTM. And we just wanted to get a quick video out to you guys before WildCard Weekend, get our thoughts of the end of the season, awards, our predictions for WildCard Weekend. So we're just going to chat with you guys for a little bit. First question off the board, gotta get right to it. Who's this year's MVP for you guys? Now, I feel like there's a lot of quality worthy nominees this year across multiple positions, honestly. I want to hear you guys what you think first. DTM, who is your MVP for this 2021 season?
Oh, you know my answer. You know I'm going Aaron Rodgers. 12 is back. He's in the playoffs. First round bye. I mean, they've looked good. Their offense has been. Hey, I'm all in. Aaron Rodgers.
Gotta go A-Rod. Who you feeling, Noah?
Same thing. Aaron Rodgers for sure. Can't go wrong with his stat line. I mean, 48 touchdowns, no matter, what else you do. If you throw 48 touchdowns, you're going to be the MVP.
In today's game, I would agree.
Just comparing to Mahomes and Josh Allen, I think he definitely beats those guys out, and it's just another year. Rodgers padding his legacy. I mean, he just has to get it this year. He's got a lot to prove. Green Bay.
I agree with you guys. My pick was Aaron Rodgers as well, but I'm gonna list out a couple of guys that are definitely worthy of nomination. I would say King Henry. If it was a running backs league right now, it'd be King Henry tenfold. He's a 2K rusher that doesn't come often. We also have Pat Mahomes. Obviously, I would say it was Pat Mahomes' to lose, but his back quarter of the season was kind of shaky for him. It was kind of shaky for him, which makes me feel like it kind of lost his worthiness. Josh Allen. I would say Josh Allen has snapped a lot of necks this year, just seeing how he's progressively gotten better towards playoff time, which is where you want to be playing your best football. But yeah, I got to go with Aaron Rodgers. The team lights a fire under him. They draft a QB first round. The previous draft, it lights a fire under him. He goes for 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns, like Noah mentioned, with only 5 interceptions. That's very, very impressive to me. He had 6 4-touchdown games. Half of his season, I'm bad at math. He had 6 4-touchdown games, which is very, very impressive. I didn't write down the teams against, which is probably very, very critical, but it still pops out to me. They claim the coveted number 1 seed with the first round bye. Only one team per conference gets it now. So I feel like that's very worthy towards MVP status, a 13-3 record, 70.7 completion percentage, a 121.5 QBR rating, which is his second career high. It's behind his career high, which was a couple years back. He's averaging 9.6 yards per pass attempt, which is very, very impressive. Very impressive. Like I said,
yards after catch. He's found a tight end too in Tanyan.
Yeah. I picked him up. Yeah, I picked him up towards the end of my fantasy. I didn't win, but I picked him up towards the end because he was just doing numbers. He was finding the spots for Aaron.
I want to see AJ Dillon on first and second down a little bit more. Get Aaron Jones in the passing game, and then really shake things up with that offense.
I heard that.
Lazard's definitely been stepping up too. I see him getting action all the time.
Yeah, MVS also. Hey, let's go. He's got
picking up too.
I hear you. Let's get into the next topic. Offensive Player of the Year. I feel once again like there's just a lot of dudes put up crazy numbers this year. as far as from tight end to receiver to quarterback. It went down. Even in running back. What am I saying? But Noah, who do you have for Opoy this year?
Opoy, obviously Derrick Henry. I think it's just too hard to ignore. 2,000 yards. What was it? 17, 18 touchdowns around there. I think those are both league leaders for rushing. I don't know how you go anybody else here really. It's just 2,000-yard rusher. They have to get one of those awards, or else, because it only happens every once in a while. I mean, last one to do it, Adrian Peterson won the MVP. I think it was over Aaron Rodgers too. That season, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers came in second to the 2K rusher. But yeah, I'm definitely going Derrick Henry.
Okay. I respect that answer. DTM, what you feeling? Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't know if you can give the MVP, the Offensive Player, the Rookie of the Year, but if you can, it's Aaron Rodgers. I like the Derrick Henry call, but I mean, if you can do that, Aaron Rodgers is my guy. Is my Offensive Player of the Year. Oh boy.
Okay. I have a different answer from those two. One person I want to say that I didn't pick and went unnoticed, Travis Kelce. I think he's a very, very, very big candidate for Opoy this year as far as it goes to. I think it was 115 catches as a tight end, second in the NFL this regular season on receiving yards. Come on, like that's very, very, very impressive.
But Kittle's record too.
Oh yeah, yep. I have a sleeper pick for Opoy. I don't think he's gonna get it, but I have a sleeper pick. I'm going Lamar Jackson for my Offensive Player of the Year. And it's just, I feel, me personally, at least, I feel to be a dual threat, a legitimate dual threat in the NFL is it's the hardest to stop. And he's
efficient. You see his efficiency. No interceptions in the red zone. I
ridiculous.
mean, sure, ridiculous. Sure they're going to hand it off to Gus, Bus, and Dobbins. Yeah. But Lamar and he's got weapons in Mark Andrews.
It doesn't matter. To throw in his career 46 touchdowns in the red zone to no picks, and he's considered a running back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very impressive. But Lamar 2021 campaign, obviously not as good as his MVP season, but it still speaks volumes to me at least. In the air, 64.4 completion percentage, 2,757 passing yards, 26 tutters in the air to 9 picks. When you go to the toting, on 156 rushing attempts, he put up 1,005 yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. He's the first QB in NFL history with back-to-back 1K rushing seasons. In his career, like we mentioned earlier, 46 touchdowns in the red zone, no INTs. Me personally, if I could put a vote in, it'd be Lamar Jackson as far as it goes to his efficiency and his legitimate threat of being a dual threat on the field that not many can do that. No one's doing that, putting up 1,000+ passing and then 1,000+ rushing as a quarterback. So I feel like that shouldn't go unnoticed. Next topic. Our Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like it's kind of just this guy kind of got it on lock, being TJ Watt. You can throw in Xavier Howard.
Myles Garrett too.
Myles Garrett, yeah. Myles Garrett is definitely a throw-in that conversation. But I would have to go TJ Watt.
Yeah.
You guys have someone different?
On the board.
No, not someone different, but someone in the category. Go ahead.
Who? Talk to me.
Ty Matthew. Also going Jalen Ramsey. I think he's had a great year.
I think he proved this season he's the best corner in the league. And that's no knock to Xavier Howard. That's no knock to Jair Alexander. But Ramsey's the top CB1 if you ask me. But let me read a little bit of TJ Watt's stat just because we all think he's deserving. He played in all of Pittsburgh's games this season, which I feel is worthy of talking about, considering that Pittsburgh was one of those teams this year that had a lot of delays, backfires as far as it came to COVID. So he played in all the games this season. He had 1 interception, 7 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 15 sacks. That was the league leader this season. He had 43 solo tackles, 10 were assisted. He led the league in tackles for loss with 23, league leader, Pro Bowl selection as well. And I just feel like, in my opinion, the most important defensive player on the field is the edge rusher, the QB getter, the QB sacker. So for him having the season that he did, I feel like he deserves it, because those guys are getting paid the big bucks, besides what Ramsey just got his bag for. But those are the guys on defense that get paid the biggest dollars to make the biggest plays. So that, I feel like that's why TJ Watt is deserving for Defensive Player of the Year.
I feel like if it weren't for so many defensive injuries on the 49ers, I think Fred Warner could have definitely made a great case. But I think it's just impressive what he did with the injuries and where they ranked defensively. I think they were top 5 in a lot of categories. And, I mean, that's entirely Fred Warner. Without him, that defense would have never competed against the teams they played throughout the back end of the schedule. And but I mean, they stopped the Cardinals entirely. Fred Warner had the game of his life. I think he had like 15 tackles and a forced fumble that game, something crazy. And I think they gave up 10 points to the Cardinals. So Fred Warner, if there wasn't, so many struggles that the 49ers went through, then he would have had a great case. But I mean, their defense just didn't rank as good as, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett's defense.
Mm-hmm. I like that. You got something to say, DTM? If not, we can get into the next topic regarding Mr. Watt or anyone else you think should deserve it.
I'll give it shout out to Darius Leonard. I think he's had a great year. They're in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Jair, I mean, that Packers defense, I love them too. But next topic.
Hear you. Rookie of the Year. Now, I saw on IG, are they only giving out one award? Because it said Pepsi Rookie of the Year. It said Pepsi Rookie of the Year, not necessarily an offensive Rookie of the Year, defensive Rookie of the Year. But I want to say I'm positive that they give out an offensive and a defensive. But if they were to give out two awards, one person that I would consider for the offensive Rookie of the Year, Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas. I would consider Justin Herbert for sure, considering Herbert's stats are insane for a rookie. They're insane. Jay Herbert, 396 completions, most ever by a rookie. 4,336 passing yards, second most ever by a rookie. 31 passing touchdowns, most ever by a rookie. 5 rushing touchdowns and only 10 picks to speak for those 31 passing touchdowns as a rookie. So that speaks volumes for sure. But I think Jay Jettas as a whole, he had more. I think his impact this season is more groundbreaking than what Jay Herbert's was, and that's no knock to Jay Herbert at all when I say that. But I just think Jay Jettas proved Pro Bowler. He proved that he can ball. Who do you guys think for?
Let me ask you this,
Rookie of the Year?
Swag. Let me ask you this: at the quarterback position, before Joe Burrow went down with that injury, were you saying, if I don't recall?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I know for a fact. In one of our previous episodes, out of those 3 quarterbacks, Herbert, Tua, and Joe, I picked Tua to have to finish out the season the best, which he didn't. But that's a good question. I personally believe that if Joe Burrow had stayed healthy, and I know he's going to shake back like crazy, I still think Herbert would have had the upper. I personally believe Herbert would have the upper as far as statistics go. As far as records go, I think Burrow would have finished with a better record with the Bengals. I firmly believe that. But that's a good question. That is a very good question. Who would you think, Noah, for offensive rookie of the year?
Well, early in the year when I saw the connection between Herbert and Keenan Allen, I kind of knew he was going to coast to this award. Justin Jefferson, he's such an athlete. I mean, he's such an exciting player to watch. Video game numbers. He's going to be, the kid's favorite player. But when you have a quarterback that came in like Justin Herbert did, and he set up a very healthy connection with him and Keenan Allen, and they were in close games, that was just coaching that was really hurting them and why they lost so many games. But I mean, he's looking like he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks for the next 10 years. So I think they're going to go with him. I'd go with him.
Okay. What do you think, DTM? I know you mentioned Burrow, but who would you pick for offensive rookie of the year?
I'm going to have to Jonathan Taylor. Offensive rookie of the year. He's a rookie, right?
Yes.
Because, I mean, he's a beast. I mean, if it's not him, I mean, I'm still loving the running backs this year, him or James Robinson, if you're going to talk about, the rookie running backs, just because I like the undrafted rookie coming out of Illinois State. But, I'm all in on Jonathan's Taylor's.
Yeah, Jay Taylor. He's a dog. He's a dog. Jersey product. Shout out to Todd. He's a product for sure. Defensive rookie of the year. I could give y'all my vote, but I think y'all already know. You got someone you could think of? Jeremy Chin, but that's not my vote. That's not my vote. My vote's Chase Young for sure. It's got to go to the Predator. I think it's just he's one of the main reasons why we're doing what we're doing now. We made him a captain as a rookie. Halfway through the season, we got rid of Simba. If you're seeing this, we're on a whole different type of time, my boy. But gave him the captain spot. Halfway through the season, he's a menace. I feel like when he really wants to, he's gonna go make the play that he wants to play. He wants to make the play that he wants to make. I would say a big I want to say he was the highest vote getter in the NFC as far as it came to edge rushers.
Pro bowler.
He's a Pro Bowler. I don't know the stat, but he might be our only. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be wrong, but I think he might have been our only Pro Bowl rookie, maybe, or at least the last in a long time. I'm not sure if RG3 and Alfred got it. I don't know. Alfred might have, but I'm not sure.
Did you get it last year?
Huh?
Did Terry get one last year? He was like
get what? A Pro Bowl selection?
Yeah. He was at like 1,200 yards, right? No, that's this year.
Is his first. It was his first. He was like 1,017, I think.
Yeah, I think he's like 1,200 this year.
I don't think he broke 1,000 last season, but defensive rookie of the year, I would definitely say it's deserving for Chase Young. No bias involved.
I agree with you. He controls the line of scrimmage when he wants to, I think, and I'm really looking forward to that matchup. Tampa Bay's O-line, I mean, Fournette,
yeah.
Joe, who's going to be running the rock?
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a game for sure. As much as we can get into the next topic anyway, is going into the WildCard Weekend selection. But we can start off with the Washington Bucks game. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to get demolished because that's not how I feel about my guys. I personally believe that we have a chance solely because Brady's biggest weakness is pressure and getting up in his face. I feel like if our D-line, who has a great challenge against him, against a very solid offensive line, the greatest quarterback of all time, maybe the greatest player of all time when it comes to football, I think if we get him flustered, we get him down to the ground a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I pray that our offense gets it together. Alex Smith isn't really 100%. He's not at all. So Heineke will probably be out there on the field tomorrow. But I honestly think if we can keep them to a minimum, which is hard to say because they got star-studded dudes, but I'm confident in my guys. I was confident against the Steelers. I'll be confident against the Bucs. It's playoff time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's gonna be an upset, but I'm going with my guys. What do you guys think? You won't hurt my feelings.
I was looking at Brady's like past 10 road playoff games, and he's been like this past decade. Just if he gets a road playoff game, he's been very shaky. I don't even think he has a touchdown to interception ratio. Like I think it was like 7-10 or something. And I mean, this is the first time he's been a true wild card team. There's been some times
I
recently.
think this is the only time in his career he's played.
Yeah,
he's
he was
wild card.
In the AFC East. He was always a division. Last year they played in wild card, but it was at home. But specifically his away playoff games recently, he has struggled. And I think adding in Chase Young and that secondary, and I mean just the momentum they have, the culture, I think they can really give them troubles. I was thinking Tampa early, but now I'm in between. I think I'm still going to go Tampa just because Tom Brady, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, you won't hurt my feelings. It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT.
But I've been thinking about it. I don't know.
What you think in DTM? Who you think going to pull out that game?
Man, I can't bet against Tom Brady. You know I want to with you, but, you got the Wizards hat on.
I do.
And I saw Beal drop 60, but, that's probably the team in Washington I'm going with.
I hear you. Let's go into the next game. Saturday game. Colts at Bills. All right. When it comes to that game, I personally I just feel like the Bills offense right now is very potent, for one. It's the potent it's been all season. Most potent it's been all season. I just feel like the Colts, their defense, which is legit, they have a very legit defense, and Darius Leonard isn't going to go out sad. But I just feel like they would have to really hold them back, almost make them flop in an offensive, you know what I'm saying, for them to pull out a win. Phillip Rivers, undefeated in all of his wild card games. He's never lost a wild card. But I don't think they have enough what it takes to pull out a victory against Buffalo Bills. Their offense with Josh Allen, Diggs, they have weapons, underrated weapons on that offense. So I think I got to go with Buffalo. What do you guys think?
I don't know about underrated, but they have weapons. Diggs has been incredible.
I know. I mean, obviously, Diggs is Diggs. I can go on, but I'm just saying. Talking about second, there's
right.
wide receiver 2. They have a running back room, 3 decent running backs that they like to give the ball to. Cole Beasley, you can't consider him a guy that he's a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he's Mr. Reliable, Mr. Handyman. He's going to be there when you need him to. So I just feel like their fluctuation, obviously with the killer combo of Mr. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, add the rest of those guys into fruition with that offense is very potent, at least right now. We'll see what happens.
You're right. When you talk about underrated receiving core, they do have one. Unhealthy John Brown, also Gabe Davis, and the tight end play in Dawson Knox. I think that that's an underrated weapon set for Josh Allen.
Who do you think pulls it out?
Buffalo.
Noah, you agree with that, Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm not buying the Indy hype this year. I don't think Phillip Rivers can really keep up with that offense. You guys actually forgot to mention Isaiah McKenzie, who had 3 total touchdowns against Miami. He had a punt return and 2 receiving, I think all in the first half. But yeah, they are so stacked, and I see them making it to the AFC Championship.
Really?
Yes. But yeah, Indianapolis, I'm not big on them. I've never really been big on them bringing in Phillip Rivers, so I'm going Buffalo.
Okay, let's talk about the next game. Very interesting game, I think. Rams at Seahawks. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't really checked the updates as far as it goes to Jared Goff because he might not be playing. But if Jared Goff were to play tomorrow, BTM, who would you pick? Rams at Seahawks
Where's that game?
in Seattle.
12th man.
12th man's not necessarily there though, DTM.
That's good choice. They're pumping a lot of stadium noise. Hey, either way, I'm going Seattle. I like Russell Wilson in the playoffs. There's something about him. Jared Goff hasn't even convinced me totally yet that he's MVP caliber. I like Seattle at home.
No, what do you think? With a Jared Goff playing.
Yeah, so with Jared Goff playing, the thing is, I don't know what Seattle we're going to get. Who knows what defensive secondary is going to show up, and who knows what type of Russell Wilson is going to show up, because the one for the past month or two has been really struggling. And, I mean, you go up against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Number one defense in NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Rams got him the first time at home, then lost a odd game on the road. And, I mean, that NFC West rivalry – I totally want to go Seattle here, but the fact that they've been playing so like just on and off the past month or so, I don't know what I'm gonna get. So I got the Rams.
Okay. In my honest opinion, when it comes to this game, you have the number one defense in the Rams statistically, the best corner in the game, the best interior defensive lineman game record in the game. You have Russell Wilson. I feel like playoff Russell Wilson is a dude not to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like whether Goff or I don't know the backup's name, so I'm not going to butcher it. But I just feel like Russell Wilson will be able to get more points out than the Rams do. I'm going to be honest. Now they have to, like I said, they have to score on the number one defense in the league. But I'm confident Russell Wilson in that game. And I think Seahawks are going to advance that wild card. You can't really go wrong with either team in this situation. They're both they're good teams, you know, and it's a great matchup, divisional game. It's a great matchup. It's going to be a great game. Sunday's wild card game. First one on the board is Baltimore at Tennessee. I'll go first here. Yeah. I personally believe like that this game I feel like it just all comes down to King Henry. It all comes down to King Henry in this game. Yes, Lamar is hungry for his first playoff win. He's hungry for it. But I just feel like as far as it comes to the matchups that they've had, playoffs, this past regular season in OT, and now, the factor was King Henry. He won them both of those games. You know what I'm saying? Now, I feel like and I don't know if anyone can, but if the Ravens can find a way to game plan Derek and keep him to an off game, keep him to an off game, and make Mr. Tannehill make decisions, make Ryan Tannehill make the decisions, I think Baltimore pulls out this dub. Now, if Mr. King Henry does what he does, I feel like that's the Ravens' biggest kryptonite is King Henry, if I'm going to be honest, because they always are about to beat them, but then it's one King Henry play away. Keep him from gassing it for 75 yards and dumping in a touchdown in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to play some big boy ball, get them boys up in the box. If they want to have to rely on the play action bomb, make Tannehill make that decision. You know what I'm saying? They got one of the best secondaries in the league, so they can cover that on the back end. But they got to stop Henry. I like what do you think, DTM?
Make Tannehill make plays. Although he's the guy that got them there. But when you talk about defense, this isn't the same matchup as last year. Tennessee, that defense is not what they were last year. If you look on paper, statistically, They're not. And Baltimore, if they can key in on Derrick Henry, stop the run game, it's up to Ryan Tannehill, the guy who's got them there this season. His numbers are
took the check. They
great
gave
numbers,
him the check over
numbers all
Henry.
year, but make him make plays. Corey Davis, um,
AJ Brown,
make these guys
Joanu.
make plays.
I agree. What do you think, Noah?
So I think looking into this game, Baltimore's thinking if they can limit Henry to 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe he's one big play, then it really just comes down to Lamar. And if they can focus on getting the ball, so most of the time the ball is focused around him, they can get that going and probably limit the passing game, just play the run game with Tennessee. I like Baltimore in this game, but they really need to focus on just at least slowing him down. When he hits the edge, they need to be able to hit him, get him out of bounds, and then it really comes down to just how Lamar can play.
I agree 100%. Like I said, I think Lamar is hungry for his first playoff win, and that's the only blemish he has as far as it comes to him being. I mean, you know what I'm not sure how to say this, but everyone, he could be flawless if it wasn't for his 0-2 playoff record. If you ask me, MVP, he's a dog. It's just that everyone says he still got to get that playoff game, which he does. At the end of the day, as the QB1, that they're gonna hold you on that playoff win, Super Bowls. He said he's gonna get a Super Bowl out. They're gonna get a Super Bowl out of him. So I'm excited to see what he's good for. But I think it's more reliant on how they stop King Henry because he's been the factor between those games.
People forget Lamar's won 80% of his games.
Yeah, bro. He's whatever in 7, I want to say.
It might even be less. He might have 5.
And the thing is, they were gifted a spot in the playoffs. They almost didn't get in there. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore almost didn't get in there, considering the fact that analysts preseason thought that they weren't going to lose a regular season game. Obviously, COVID issues got involved, but they got the spot into the dance, and they got to dance like Lance. You know what I'm saying? I think they got to make him shake, and I feel like there's no better opportunity or no better matchup than to give them Tennessee. So we'll see what they're good for. Next game on Sunday, we have Chicago at New Orleans. Now, I feel like me and Noah were talking about this earlier. Wait, bro. LaMelo's not dressed. He's not dressed. Besides the point. This isn't going to be edited, so we got to keep going. Chicago at New Orleans. I feel like New Orleans is so shaky in the playoffs, but they gotta win this game. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna win this game. I think it's their game to lose. That's now when it comes to Chicago, their defense. You got Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson. They're Mr. Fuller. They're some dogs, and they're not gonna go out sad. But I think New Orleans, they're too firepower as far as offense goes. Their defense is strong. Their defense is strong.
No doubt. Khalil Mack. They've got run stoppers also in Hicks, Beast. Although I don't even know how Chicago got into the playoffs. I feel bad for some of the AFC teams like the Dolphins who didn't. NFC was just a little bit weak this year.
I agree.
I mean, there's some great teams in the NFC. Don't get me wrong, but
if you look at the NFC East, bro, we got in there at 7-9. That's 4 teams with a losing record.
Right.
So,
however, Chicago, how they snuck in, but
No, I think in general, I think it's New Orleans' game to lose. They should have this one in the bag.
Yeah, it's all the pressure on New Orleans to just show up and play good enough, because this isn't a great Chicago team. I mean, their defense can make some plays, but I mean, the Saints have maybe the best roster in the NFL, and if they were to lose this game, I mean, they might just have to think about starting fresh, because if they can't if they can't beat Chicago with that roster, they need some serious work. But I think they're going to get it done. Pressure's
I
on them.
agree. Pressure's on them for sure. And our last WildCard Weekend game, we have no Stefanski Browns, no they're starting safeties out with COVID. I'm not sure who's interiming for.
It's like I thought it was like their special teams coordinator or something.
Yep. Special teams coach. I'm not sure what his name is, but we have Browns at Pittsburgh. They just played the last game of the season, but it was with Mason Rudolph and a couple other backups to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this is a hard game for me because Pittsburgh probably has one of the worst running defenses in the league. I think they might either last or second to last. And the Browns have a very, very strong two-headed snake in that backfield. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Nick Chubb is a game winner type player. He will win you your game. Honestly, I think that if they can kill Pittsburgh on the run, if they pick and choose the right times to get Baker on that play action splash play, you know what I'm saying? I think they could pull out the win. Now, with the coaching, it comes very, very, especially in the NFL. You need your coaches on that sideline. You know what I'm saying? Especially your head coach, and especially Stefanski, because he's considered as a coach of the year this year. The way he got the Browns in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But I think they could pull out the win. If Big Ben and the Steelers getting that empty offense and just start nickel and diming down the field, hey, Pittsburgh should win the game. But I'm very excited to see how it goes. What do you guys think?
I think the key factor is if Ben's arm is good enough to just expose Cleveland's secondary. Cleveland is really weak on the back end right now, especially without Denzel Ward.
Right.
They've been getting exposed a lot back there. Obviously Cleveland's ground game could definitely keep up with Pittsburgh's offense, but if Ben looks good, and that receiving core they have is one of the best in the league. If Ben can get the ball down the field, then yeah, that's all Pittsburgh. But I don't trust Ben anymore. His arm has looked weak like all year. So I'm going with Cleveland, but tough game without their coach. It's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, I hope they rely on that running back committee. I mean, if they have their best chance, I think it's giving Chubb 15 carries and Kareem Hunt 15 carries. Kareem Hunt's one of those backs that gets better as the game goes on, like I've said. But I'm still
same as Chubb, bro. He's he's on his fifth gear in the fourth quarter. It's crazy. They're dogs. You're going Pittsburgh? I respect it. Like I said, I think Pittsburgh should win the game. The odds are in their advantage, but I think they fall just how, like, in a sense, Washington's front four falls into a weakness of Brady not well throwing the ball under pressure. Brown's running game fits into an advantage for them because the Steelers' run defense, isn't sound. It is not sound. And for them to have the running back room that they have, I feel like they could really expose them and pull out a dub. But we'll see. That's all I have for this episode. If you guys have any quick end remarks you want to give off, anything you need to get off your chest, you can get them off. If not, we can call it a afternoon. Call it a movie wrap.
Quick NBA. We got LaMelo, Lonzo.
Oh, dude, I stand corrected. LaMelo's on the court. I'm tripping. This video is not going to be edited, but so you guys are gonna have to live with that mistake. But we really appreciate you guys coming in, watching our videos. I know we kind of took a little hiatus towards the end of holiday season, but we are gonna promise to get you out a video every week as far as it goes with predicting the next week's playoff games, and then once the NFL season ends, we are going to get into it on the NBA. So it's going to be very exciting couple months of January and February for the sports world. We're going to try and give you our honest opinions about it. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, give us ideas, give us feedback. We want to know. I appreciate you guys recording with me per usual. And we will see you next time on the Swaggy Sports Podcast. Thank you. Peace and love. Peace and love.